very sunny Snetterton as we have the next race meeting for the BRSCC, the British Racing and Sports Car Club. My name is Chris Buxton and I'll be doing interviews here in the holding area in preparation for the next race to go along. Now we can see these wonderful cars that have already gathered here. This is the CMMC Southern Super Saloons and Tin Tops. They've had the qualifying session, and on the pole spot is Rod Burley in his beautiful Ford Escort WRC. We'll see if he's happy to have a word with us as he's just getting strapped up now to get ready for today's first. Excellent. So, how is your fine Escort behaving itself?
Yeah, it always seems to throw up something here at Snetterton. We had a little issue after qualifying. The turbo decided to come a bit loose. Joe here has been on it, and I think after the little baby, the engine got a bit of a sore throat today, so sorry I'm a bit croaky.
I shan't kiss you then if all being well. So ready to roll then. The weather is obviously quite nice and sunny, so ready and raring to go.
Yeah, it should be a good race. Had a good race here last year with Gavin until we had something break on the car. So this year I'm hoping that we actually go the full distance. I've got to say a quick hello to my brother who's struggling a little bit at the moment. He's got a brain operation coming up, but he'll be watching. So yeah, it's got to put on a good race for everyone, haven't we?
I'm sure you will. With your vast experience behind you, Mr. Burley, we have no doubt. Best of in the BMW race. So second, how are you feeling about that one? To see if I can reach it.
I'm pleased for second. I was P1 for most of it, so a bit disappointed that Rod got me on the last lap, but it's so fast, this car. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, the pesky Escort B here. Best of luck out there, sir. As you can hear now, the engines are ready and raring to go. So in the commentary box for the weekend is Scott Woodwis, who'll be taking you through the action live. Scott, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, good morning, everybody, and welcome to more action here at Snetterton, courtesy of the British Racing and Sports Car Club, along with, of course, Caterham Motorsport. Plenty of action going on here. He's on his 5th overall fastest. He is by far and away the fastest tin top racer in Class T2, and he will start 5th overall on the third row of the grid. Alongside him will be the Class D for Sierra RS Cosworth, and that is the red car of Sean Fairweather, car number 74, who is on Class D pole. 4th row of the grid is car number 67, which is the Class A BMW E46 M3 with Andrew Mackenzie at the wheel. He starts alongside the number 11 Class B with Mark Chris. It's round up to the Class C BMW 46 M3 Martin Scott at the wheel, and then it's the second of the tin top cars, T1 Dave Charlton is say at Leon. The front fleet on Jackie Park makes its way off the front of the grid and leads the pack around for its formation lap. We go through the rest of the grid through 11th downwards. 11th on the grid, number 37, the second of the T1 class tin top cars. That's Ken Angel in his BMW E36 32i Coupe. Alongside him on the 6th row of the grid is Steve Dan, car number 34 in the Class B Super Saloons Volkswagen Scirocco. Row 7 is number 87. That's the T1 class Graham Richardson Honda Civic EP3. He'll start alongside the number 25, which is the Class D Ford Fiesta of Nick Wall. Row 8 is number 3, the Class D Jax Whitehead BMW 330 Ci. And then in the 16th spot on the grid is Ian Seal in his Ford Fiesta ST150, car number 7. And at the back of the grid is to the more diminutive part of the field, which is the Angelo Massaneto car number 2. And it's the T3 alongside him is Alexander Baldwin in the 40. KA, I think that's one of the Enduro cars in T4. And that was the class that was the Southern Centre to accommodate cars that race in series such as Enduro KA and C1 Race Club and the City Car Cup as well. Smaller cars with the engine capacity of around about up to 1,000 cc to accommodate those small little micro cars in the field. So the cars make their way around on the formation lap with weaving side to side. It will be a rolling start as led off by the RunYourFleet.com Jaguar BRSCC safety car. A big shout out to RunYourFleet.com once again for all their support as a club partner, and of course as their support has come in the form of the safety car that they've provided all season. It's been quite a brilliant sight to see, although it's probably not the sight that all the drivers want to see. It's great to see it on track and around the circuit wherever it is here. So big shout out to the club sponsors, as in RunYourFleet.com. Looking at the series that are taking part, looking at all sorts of company in this. You've got BMW, we've had lots of Ford Sierras, BMWs, has been the Alex Sidwell Holden Commodore, which sadly got involved in an incident in pouring rain at Silverstone, which has meant the car was unfortunately so badly damaged it had to be sent all the way back to Australia, or is being sent back to Australia as we speak, to get it repaired by Brad Jones Racing. So fingers crossed that Alex can come back into this series with one of his other many Holden Commodores that he's imported from Australia. But also in there too, you've got other great cars, more Fords, more Hondas, a couple of Vauxhall Astros. We've had Mark Diath in Super Impreza in this series. As for the tin tops, it's pretty much self-explanatory. If you look at the cars in here, you've got lots of different hot hatches like Civic Type Rs and Fiesta ST150s, Peugeots, Renaults, VWs, and everything else in between. It really is a brilliant mixture of series. If you like kind of all-comers saloons hatchback series, this is something very powerful on this. It's going to so. The cars are going to make their way onto the front corner to get the is right of screen in the Ford Escort WRC on pole position. Here in Norfolk, the red lights will go on any minute now, and then they'll go out. When they do go out, we go racing here at Snetterton. They go at any second. Now we're underway here as they get down towards turn 1 for the first time. Good sprint away from the second row of the grid for the Nick Sutton Evo 10. Down into Richie's for the first time, and it is Burley who leads. It's done in second place, and the BMW's already moved up quickly from the 3rd and 4th rows. There's Ken Angel's BMW E36 328 Coupe. It's down Wilson heading for the first time, and then we'll catch them back again. A little bit of lock up and smoke, so possibly 1 or 2. Cars kidding a little bit of strife quickly into the 180 head. We'll do off camber left hander that arcs around onto the short straight towards the inner part of the 300 circuit. So Burley in the Escort leads. It's the BMW in second place, and then we'll look at 3rd place backwards as they turn into the Agostini hairpin for the first time. So Burley done. Then it is 67 Andrew McKenzie. He started from the 4th row of the grid, a mega jump from 7th to get itself up to 3rd already. There's Sean Fairweather's Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. He's dropped behind Chris Bassett and also the other couple of BMWs that are in the field. The car I think that's probably dropped back a little bit. I thought was Ronan Bradley, but he's up there at about 4th or 5th position. So we'll keep tabs on our first few cars as they go through the opening few corners. Battle going on there between Ian Seal in the Ford Fiesta ST150 and the BMW of Jacques Whitehead as they come back into Oggies for the first. threes, that one being Martin Scott's golf-coloured car. And there we see here, that's the 87 car going past. That's Graham Richardson in his Honda Civic EP3. He's having a scrap chasing down the 98. That's the T1 class Seat Leon of Dave Charlton. Started in 10th. And we'll get a handle of where they are as they come across the line to end the first lap of racing. So Burley then leads, has a 2.6 second advantage over Dunn in second position. Mackenzie is up to third after he started in 7th place. Sutton in the Mitsubishi Evo 10. Top 10 at the moment. It's followed by Ronan Bradley in 5th position. 6th place is Bassett, 7th is Fairweather, 8th is Martin Scott, 9th is Ken Angel, and 10th is Dave Charlton. So this race continuing on. Still got 9 minutes to go. And then Brian Nelson tries to hold on to the gap. Into the position at this point as they make down round into the right hander of the bomb hole. Just compresses on the bottom of the corner, and then quite a tricky right hander to take. But I remember when they were modifying this circuit before, in the modified circuit, that's the one that they said that you have all the corners that you modify, that's the one that you do not touch, do not modify the corner at all. So I kept it as it was, and it's stayed as an evergreen part of the circuit ever since it was first formed. Battle here now, that is that's the Mark Cripps BMW, and that's now having a scrap with the Graham Richardson Honda Civic. That's over 12th and 13th overall. Cripps is one of the Super Saloons Class B cars. the T1 specific machine. It's currently holding on to 12th place. Look at the livery on that. Looks a little bit like the logo on that car, but inspired by some of the liveries that ran in American sort of GT racing in the last few years. Down the pit straight. Just checking on our leaders, and it's coming up to half distance in this race. Rob Burley now has... Well, the gap's come down a little bit because look, she's been just easing off a little bit or just taking a bit more pace. 2 minutes 9.8 last time, and Gavin Dunn was over a 4 second quicker. So got the gap down to just a fraction over 4 seconds. There's Nick Sutton in third, Mackenzie fourth, Bradley fifth, and then Bassett rounding out the top 6. And he still comfortably leads the tin top class. As we look at Dave Charlton's Seat Leon, and he's still trying to keep in touch with Ken Angel's BMW. And that is for the leading deep. So this is a battle for class position. It's for second and third overall. You need to onto the Bentley straight, but it looks as though under brakes Ken was just a little more confident to get the car stopped. Managed to hold on to the position. They're currently running for the record. 9th and 10th position, top 10 overall. As we say, they are battling for position. Class A back in the lead. Rob Bird has got to get back and forth to that last time. Maybe just cooling his tyres a bit, just finding his way past 1 or 2 back markers, but he's back on the pace now with a 2 minutes 7.9. You've got to get back up another 4:10, so it's nearly 4.5. There is Martin Scott's Golf Colour BMW. It's just again closed in. Also behind we've got that is the Steve Dan BMW Rocco. He's battling away with Mark Cripps. So Cripps is the one that's making very steady progress. He's got past the Gray Richardson Honda Civic. There it goes in the foreground, but just as they go down towards Wilton Palmer. This is 11th, 12th and 13th. Just a quick check-in from some of our other class leaders. So Robbie leads Class A relatively comfortably. Gavin Dunn in second place overall is top Class B car. The top Class C Super Saloon is Martin Scott's Golf Colour BMW. Just ahead of him is the top Class D runner. And that is Sean Fairweather's Ford Sierra Cosworth. You then have in Class E, I think there's no Class E this weekend. In the tin tops, it is the Class T1's been. Is that him? Is that him slowing up? It looks like he's either made a mistake, because there goes Dave Charlton in the Seat Leon. Been a change between the two T1 leaders, and Kane is trying just, he's also top grip to the Steve BMW Rocco. He could be in trouble from Gray Richardson's Honda Civic. So problem there for Ken Angel. Whether it was contact between the two or just off. Fortunately, the camera didn't spot it. But what we do know is that Dave Charlton has managed to get himself up into what is now 9th position. So that'll be Ken is down to 13th because he lost out today, but also to Cripps, Dan, and to Richardson. Burley, meanwhile, continues to lead again, possibly either just backing off or having trouble with back markers, but looking at his lap times, the lap was about nearly 2 seconds slower than Gavin Dunn, so Gavin's got the gap back down again to 3.1, so even though we've still got 3 minutes to go, might not completely be over, but we'll see if everything about there. It's probably taking this race a little bit more tentatively than I would have anticipated. I mentioned because it's the longest straights, and maybe just taking it easy, probably push a bit more than probably I think in maybe the corners. In terms of the straight line pace, Rod has the advantage over the BMW, but maybe just in the corners, there's a bit more confidence for Gavin here as they turn their way in through Coram. And the left-handed flick of Murray's. There's the Gavin Dunn BMW in the replica livery from the 1996 Charlie Lamb run Schnitzer team that ran the likes of Joe Winkelhock and Roberto Rivali and Peter Cox in the BTCC back in the Super Touring days. So on to the, what looks to I think possibly the last lap, because we've got 1 minute and 50 to go on the clock. New fastest lap of the race has been pumped in by Gavin Dunn. He's at a 2 minute 7.019, so he's now got the gap down to 2.2 seconds. So either Bay's going to have to get held up by a lot of track here, or simply make it quite easy, which I don't think he'll do, given that Rob never takes things too easy. He sees a victory, he'll go for it. You can probably see him looming a little bit larger in here. Now he's firm. He realises he's been backed off too much and Gavin's now close right in, so he thinks, right, time to put the foot down. Let's see if we can pull this gap out a bit more before the flag. And he has nearly 700 race wins as Rob Burley, as I mentioned briefly earlier. And certainly one of the most successful drivers in British domestic motorsport. And he's driven all sorts. He's driven back at the Thunder Salute when he racing alongside the likes of John, they race against the likes of John Callendon, Vince Woodman, and all the drivers that used to race in that this fantastic series. He's driven Ford Sierras, he's had a Honda Prelude as well in the past too, amongst other cars, and of course this long-standing Ford Escort WRC has certainly treated him quite well. It's been through some tough times in one or two incidents, but always out. And Rod then turns his way out of Brundle and Nelson for the final time. Still with Gavin trying to give pursuit, but I think he's managed to settle the gap here. Again, just up and down. Jonathan famous pushes a little spare fuel through the side exhaust of this British through Coram for the final time. And he'll make his way up one last time with foot to the floor towards the checkered flag. There'll be another race win. It's been a busy weekend with himself, not just in this series, but modified Fords as well. Gavin Dunn will push all the way to the end. They might get one more lap, but they might for the checkered flag. No, checkered flag goes out. It's Rob Burley with victory in the first of today's races for the CMMC Southern Super Balloons, and tops Gavin Dunn is second. He takes a Class win in Class B, but he finishes second overall. The third place is going to go to the Class A Mitsubishi Evo 10 of Sutton. So across the line goes Nick Sutton to pick up third place. And then it'll be fourth place for Ronan Bradley when he comes across the line in his E36 BMW. He'll be followed by Andrew Mackenzie's E46 example. So Bradley and Mackenzie are passed, and then Chris Bassett far and away the runaway segment of that race. He finished 6th overall, also Newcastle winner, as well as the first Tin Tops car home. Here is Sean Fairweather in 7th position. And Sean will make his way up to the checkered flag, where he'll come through in 7th place. 8th for Martin Scott. There's the Angelo Massinetto little Citroen Saxo, which will make its way to the line. And make it home in will be 16th place. The only car in the T3 class. It will also win its class as well. Looks like the only car we lost was the Ford Fiesta, car 25, which was Nick Wall's Ford Fiesta, didn't make it to the end. And Dave Charlton, right at the end, catches Martin Scott, and Martin just about holds him off at the line. That would have been before 8th and 9th position. There goes Mark Cripps and his E30 BMW. But Dave Charlton really was motivated at the end. He managed to put in a lap was even out on there. In quite shortly, quite catch what happened to Caterham, but unfortunately he dropped down to what's currently 13th place. Doesn't come across the line yet. This might be him coming to the line. It's the only car left to take the flag. Up to the checkered flag. That's the 4KA coming across. That's the Alex Baldwin car. Ken has not passed the flag according to our timing screen, so that might be him in the background there. So what happened to Ken? He really has fallen off the pace and looks like it's a possible mechanical issue, which means he'll have to go and tinker away to get the car fixed for race number 2 to get it back to full strength. But here he comes, maybe a little bit wounded, but across the line comes Ken Angel. And I said the only car we lost was that one. So just a quick recap of the results. So Rob Burley then wins overall and is the top Super Saloons car home as well as Class A winner, and he wins by just 1.8 seconds from Gavin Dunn. Martin Scott was 8th in his BMW M3, and Dave Charlton was right behind him in the Seat Leon. Mark Cripps was 10th in the BMW E30, but it's Richardson in the Honda Civic EP3 11th, Steve Dan 12th in the VW Scirocco, Ken Angel with apparently some kind of issue with his car, but he dropped down to 13th. It's Ian Seals Fiesta comes home in 14th place in the DP class, or T production, and then it's the number 3 car of Jack Whitehead, who comes home in his BMW 30 Ci ahead of Angelo Massinetto and Alex Baldwin. And the only car that we didn't see the flag, unfortunately, was Nick Wall's number 25 Ford Fiesta. So there we go. Our racing action is underway here at Snetterton. We're actually going to go into our lunch break for the first segment of track running here at Snetterton for our days. But when we come back, it's all action all the way because we get kicked off Southern Super Saloons and roughly around about 45 minutes to an hour's time. So until then, ciao, and we'll see you in a bit.